Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I thought I would make my debut by passing on some tips for those who might already own a tarantula or might be thinking of getting one. And these tips are specifically when it comes to arboreal tarantulas. These tips are what I learned after doing an experiment with my caribena versicolor and my psalmopoeus irminia. Now these are just tips that will work for me, and by no means does it mean that that will work for everyone. So please don't take what I say as fact or the only way of doing things. And with that, let's get into this. So a bit of background from when I first got these two. I was originally using a thin piece of bark for their hides. You might still be able to see the original thin piece of bark I was using in this enclosure. Anyways, I was using that and they weren't taking it as a hide. They were just kind of like roaming around the enclosures aimlessly all day, every day. And originally I thought, oh, okay, well, yeah, give it some time. Things will be fine. Fast forward a few weeks later and nothing's changed. They're still like roaming around the enclosure, almost looking for something. I tried feeding them. They will refuse to take food. So I figured something's not right. So I thought to myself, they're not going to take food if they aren't feeling comfortable. And they're not going to feel comfortable if they don't have a hide for them. Because typically these two arboreal tarantulas, they made like web tunnels to like hide themselves in using like fake plants, or if you have real plants in their enclosures, or the like a bark hide. So I thought to myself, why aren't they taking this bark for a hide? So I decided to try something a little different and gave them something like much thicker. Hence why you see like these two decent chunks of bark here. And that they immediately took it. Like you'll see here, you can kind of see the, if it focuses, a little bit of like a web tunnel here on this one. And here towards the top, you'll see that there's also a web tunnel there. So that was immediately a relief for me. And soon after they built their little hides, they immediately started eating, which was a huge relief for me, because even though I know that they can go weeks, even years without eating, it still kind of makes me nervous when I first get a tarantula baby, or baby tarantula, or a sling, and it doesn't eat immediately. So my theory as to why that is because I feel like, because tarantulas are covered in setae, or the like tiny hairs, and they use that to kind of sense everything in their immediate vicinity. So I kind of feel like they could sense or like feel the structural integrity of the bark they were like they were using, and they felt that the original piece of bark was like too thin and wouldn't be able to like support like any form of weights, and if something were to crush it, they'd be crushed too. And so they took the much thicker pieces of bark as a better means of like protection on their part. So that's at least my theory, at least. And with that, these are just my tips for if your arboreal tarantula is just refusing to accept the hide that you have currently in its enclosure. Now, I want to reiterate, this is not a end-all be-all way of doing things. What worked for me may not necessarily work for you. So you might have to experiment to just try to get it right, but this is just a possible solution for you guys. I want to give a special shout out to Raas Reptiles for encouraging me to make this video. And I think we'll close out this video with a couple feedings. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you have a good day.